Let's start with a breaking update coming in from the United States. Will he or won't he? Well, that's the question hanging over the world as the tension between US and Iran has escalated. And once again, Donald Trump has issued a threat to Iran, stating, and I quote, "We have a lot of a very big and powerful ships sailing to Iran right now, and it would be great if we did not have to use them." Now, this comment comes at a time when tensions between the United States and Iran continues to grow. Donald Trump has sent some of its most powerful naval ships to Middle East, and this includes the USS Abraham Lincoln, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier that is stationed in the Middle East. And at the time, another, in fact, warning that has come from Donald Trump. He has said, and I quote, "We have a lot of very big and very powerful ships sailing to Iran." In fact, we have another breaking update coming in. As far as Iran and US is concerned, US Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has warned Iran against pursuing nuclear weapons, saying that US is ready to act under President Donald Trump's order. He made the remarks during a cabinet meeting as the US continues to deploy warship and air assets across the Middle East amid the rising tension with Iran.
I want to say something about the large fleet of ships that's heading over to the Middle East.
Well, Mr. President, you had to, like so many other cabinet members have referenced, rebuild the perception of America. And at the Department of War, that meant reestablishing deterrence. What happened in Afghanistan, what happened in Ukraine, a war that never would have occurred, what happened on October 7th in Israel, never would have happened under President Trump. So as a result, we're having to rebuild how our enemies perceive us. And when President Trump said, "We're not getting a nuclear, Iran, you won't have a nuclear bomb," he meant it. And we sent those B-2s halfway around the world, and they never noticed. When he said, "We're not going to tolerate trafficking drugs anymore in our hemisphere, we treat them like the Al-Qaeda of the Western Hemisphere," he meant it, and we're executing that. When you said, Mr. President, we're securing the border, the military was proud to do their part alongside Homeland Security to do that. Same thing with Iran right now, ensuring that they have all the options to make a deal. They should not pursue nuclear capabilities. So we will be prepared to deliver whatever this president expects of the War Department, just like we did this month. No other military in the world could have executed the most sophisticated, powerful raid, not just in American history, I would say in world history. What those men did going downtown, another country, the most secure place in the most secure base in the middle of the night without anybody knowing until those simultaneous bombs dropped 3 minutes before the helicopters dropped. No other country could coordinate that. No other president would have been willing to empower those warriors that way to be that effective. And that sends a message to every capital around the world that when President Trump speaks, he means business, and we are reestablishing deterrence at the War Department.
For more on this, let me go across to former diplomat KB Fabian. Thank you so much, sir, for connecting with us. How do you look at the situation unfolding between US and Iran? Because we're learning that there's a large military buildup in the Middle East. But the larger question is, will he or won't he at a time when the issue is escalating between the two countries?
Good morning. Having been in Iran from 1976 to 1979, in the Indian Embassy as First Secretary, I have been following it ever since. Now, my view is that the inflation and the economic problems Iran has been facing, is facing, are mainly because of reimposition of sanctions, which President Trump did in his first term in 2018, walking out of President Obama deal in 2015, a deal that made sure that Iran will not make a nuclear weapon. So Trump is primarily responsible for the protests and other difficulties Iran has been experiencing recently. Now, coming to his threatening Iran, I think it will be most disastrous because he is setting fire to an inflammable region. And as we know, American allies in the region, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and probably Qatar, have told him not to do that. And UAE has publicly said that American military presence in UAE cannot, I repeat, cannot be used for attacking Iran. And we also have to understand that Iran is able to respond, of course, in a limited manner, but with very severe consequences for the region, because it can damage the oil installations in Saudi Arabia or elsewhere. So he is playing with fire, Trump. All that I would say is that he was playing with fire when he said that he would impose tariffs on the 8 countries that send very sort of, 1 or 2, few troops to Greenland, and then he walked back. And I think that is the wisest decision he made. Let us hope that he will retreat from this dangerous course he's embarked on, and that will be the second wisest decision he will be making.
Absolutely. So at a time when the tensions between US and Iran have escalated, the question is whether Donald Trump will attack the country or will the diplomacy will be at play. Thanks so much, sir, for connecting with us.